say thank you again for joining us tonight. Just a friendly reminder, if you can, we're asking if you could support the arts and support ATC. No donation is too small. And if you can donate, we do take donations on our Venmo at the @ ATC Studios. And that is the @ ATC Studios. We will also put that in the chat for you if you forgot what I just said. Our next show and final show of the evening might be relatable to some. Does anyone have that friend or neighbor you think that you have pinned down? Then they say something that completely shocks you and you question if you ever really knew them at all? Then you'll enjoy the next piece, which is Pillow, directed by Paul Michael and features Marianne Goodell and Susan Jane McDonald.
Coming.
Jesus, I need a drink fast.
Janice, what's the matter? Are you all right?
Yeah, I'm just super.
What time is it?
It's late, maybe 3 o'clock. Listen, do you have a spare pillow? I might have to sleep on your couch tonight.
Well, certainly if you need to. You're drinking that awfully fast. Maybe you want to try the less expensive scotch?
No, 2 or 3 more of these and I'll be fine.
Janice, what's going on?
What's going on? Well, I have a bone to pick with you, Wilma. That guy you set me up with tonight, Eddie Gibson, that great catch, that ball of fire, that Mr. Wonderful.
Oh, your big date! How did it go?
He's dead.
Oh, you didn't like him?
No, he's dead. Kaput, finito, a non-participant in the life experience.
He's dead?
Which really shouldn't surprise you since the old coot was probably pushing 90.
Oh, he wasn't that old. I'd say the far side of 70.
How could you stick me with that decrepit old dinosaur? I'm a vital woman in the prime of my life. I could go to any bar in this town and have my pick of guys half his age. Guys who at this very moment are still very much alive.
I'm sorry, Janice. I just thought you being a nice single lady and Mr. Gibson a widower of means, I thought it was a good match.
A good match? The fact that you can even consider hooking me up with old Methuselah up there. Sometimes I wonder if you really know who I am.
You mean he's upstairs in your room right now?
That's why I want to stay down here. I'm not spending the night with a corpse, thank you, regardless of how desperate you seem to think I am.
What happened to him?
I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I mean, 1 minute he's conscious, the next blowy. Oh, I have no luck with men.
Maybe he's asleep. He tends to nap a lot at the office.
He's dead, Wilma. I've seen enough dead bodies in my life to know when somebody's kicked the bucket.
You have?
All I can think is that his heart must have exploded because there was no advance warning. We were in bed. Things were proceeding very nicely. I mean, he seemed to be enjoying himself.
Wait a minute. You were in bed? You mean you were...
It's the middle of the night, Wilma. What did you think we were doing? Playing Parcheesi?
But I thought you said you didn't like him.
Well, he's hardly my dream man, but once I got past the liver spots in the colostomy bag, I found him quite agreeable. Still, the next time you try to fix me up, I'd appreciate it if you pick somebody who's likely to last the night.
Oh, dear me. Well, have you called the police?
Not yet, because I know they're going to ask a lot of questions. Watch, they're going to try to say that I was involved somehow.
Well, you were involved, Janice. You were doing something at the time.
That was just a coincidence. I've had plenty of men in my day, and this is the first one who ever died under me.
Under you? You mean you were on top of him?
Yes, Wilma, I was on top. We have the vote now, you know. Our options have expanded.
But I mean, sitting and bouncing on a man of his age?
Well, I wasn't going to wait for him to climb up on me. It took him 10 minutes just to take off his shoes.
Well, it just strikes me as rather bold for a first date. I mean, I've been married to Vernon some 26 years, and I have never...
Well, maybe you should. A little empowerment once in a while would do you a world of good. It's a new century, Wilma. You don't just have to lie there with your eyes closed and recite the multiplication tables to yourself anymore. Get yourself a pair of Spurs and ride that bad boy.
Oh, gracious. We shouldn't be talking such naughty things, not with poor Mr. Gibson dead up there.
Yeah, it's a friggin' shame. Oh, well.
And you say it happened suddenly. I mean, that's a blessing.
Yeah, I took the pillow off his face and he was all blue. His eyes were bulging, his tongue was swollen. It really took the air out of my balloon, let me tell you.
There was a pillow over his face?
I was holding it there. That's why I didn't know he was dead until well after the fact.
You were holding a pillow over Mr. Gibson's face.
It's a little bedroom trick I picked up. See, when you cut off the air supply during sex, it intensifies the orgasm 10 times over. Oh, you and Vernon really should try it when it works. It's spectacular.
But Janice, for heaven's sakes, you must have suffocated him.
Oh, I don't think so. I've done the pillow routine lots of times. I never lost anybody before. Well, one guy went into a semi-coma, but he had asthma. I found that later. Now, I always ask beforehand.
But didn't you notice anything? I mean, didn't you see Mr. Gibson waving his arms or struggling?
He couldn't wave his arms. They were tied to the bedpost.
His arms were tied to the bedpost?
And his legs. Spread-eagled is the technical term.
You tied up Mr. Gibson?
You know, there's an unpleasant moral tone creeping into your voice. Yes, I tied up Mr. Gibson. Do you have a problem with that?
My God, that poor old man.
Oh, he loved it. Are you kidding? We were having a blast until he croaked.
Well, I have to say, Janice, if I'd known that you were into such strange, unsavory practices, I would never.
Strange. These are common sexual techniques familiar to any modern American woman. Don't you ever watch Sex in the City?
Well, maybe I've led a sheltered life, but I cannot believe that smothering someone while bouncing around on their privates is a popular form of sex play, even in New York.
All right. The pillow thing is a little more exotic. That's something I picked up on my own back when I was a hooker.
You were a hooker?
Well, an escort. I had my own phone number. It was just a youthful phase I was going through when I was supporting my drug habit.
You had a drug habit?
A small one, not heroin or anything, just a little coke here, a little crack there. I kicked it, no sweat, when I was in prison.
You were in prison?
I don't like talking about that. It was a bullshit charge. I was practically innocent. Anyway, my cellmate, a very lovely woman, helped me get clean. And since she was a rather assertive lesbian, I wound up repaying her in dribs and drabs. But I learned a lot about myself in the process, and I have no regrets.
I had no idea you had such a colorful past.
Well, you see, that's my point. If you'd taken the time to really get to know me, then you would know what kind of man to set me up with. It's a very tricky business bringing people together.
If I'd known you were into kinky and perverted things like that, I would never have set you up at all. We obviously travel in wildly different circles.
Everybody, but yes, just Miss Gibson was kind of low, and he's the one who brought out the maraschino cherries. And you know what else he did?
No.
He took out his teeth and gummed my. That's right. Suck the paint right off my nails. So don't be so cocksure about what's normal and what isn't. I'll tell you what's not normal. 26 years doing the same boring things day after day, never getting top. I'll bet you don't own a piece of rubber latex.
No, I don't.
You're hopelessly out of the loop, Wilma. I should set you up. Oh, I know a couple of guys who could really blow some fresh air up your schmata. For a price, of course.
Well, thank you, Janice. But I'm perfectly happy the way things are. At least, I think I am.
It's your life, Shirley Temple.
don't you think it's time we call the police about Mr. Gibson up there?
Yeah, I guess I should go up and scrape the candle wax off him.
Janice,
Yeah.
I would love to hear more about your lesbian experiences someday.
I'll get my pillow.
Audience, feel free to unmute yourself so the actors can hear your applause.
And we just want to give it up for
Actors, you are wonderful. Thank you for sharing your talent with us. I'm going to stop the Facebook stream right now just so that you all know. But please, we're going to stay and talk with the actors and the playwright and the directors. Thank you so much, everybody who's already donated. We so appreciate it. It's fantastic.